Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 7 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday. Friday. I wish. No, Tuesday morning. No, I don't wish. I like every day. But it is beautiful out there, right? Tuesday morning.
Gorgeous.
All right. Yesterday we went to Shalom Park. We went to Shalom Park and we practiced our music. And you remember there was a young man walking with a young girl walking down the sidewalk there?
Oh, yes.
The young man was an adult young man and the young girl was a child young girl. Okay? Yeah. And, in today's world, you look at that and you wonder, oh gosh, I hope everything's kosher between the two. That's a good word to use in Shalom Park.
I would think so.
It's kosher. How come I don't hear you?
It works.
Oh, there you are. But did you think that at all? Did your mind go to, gosh, I hope,
Not for that person.
She's not in any danger? Okay.
Yeah, not for that particular person, but my mind does go there occasionally when I see different things.
I know it is weird and it's unfair. Yeah. And as a man, it's almost embarrassing to realize that we have enough men in this world that have abused girls in this world that we are all suspect. And as a father, I would say, don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust your daughters with any men. It's simple as that until they've proven anywhere otherwise. I speak from not personal experience myself, but my sister went through this, and none of us ever knew it, and it was just a sad thing. Our next guest has gone through some things too, and she's brave enough to put it into writing. And I wish my sister could have read this book. It's called Spirit's Path, a story of three women. She writes in third person, I believe, is what you call it, but it's really her story. I hope I'm right about this.
Yes.
Dr. Elizabeth Yoon is on the phone. She writes under the pen name of Lisi Mayer. Maybe I should have said that. I don't know that she wanted us to say her real name, but sorry, I've done it. She holds board certifications in general psychiatry, child psychiatry, and medical acupuncture. She's now retired from that, it says here. And this is a very honest and very brave book to write, especially when you're going to let people know that it's your story. Dr. Elizabeth Yoon, I hope I'm saying it okay, or Lisi Mayer, good morning to whoever you want to be called. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Well, Lisi, is my nickname. Lisi.
Okay.
Yeah, and Mayer is my maiden name.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So it kind of is your name then. It's not just a pseudonym.
Right. It is one of my names.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, where are you calling from? Where are you located?
I am right now in Walnut Creek, California.
Wow, you got up early to be with us. That sounds nice. Doesn't the name Walnut Creek sound good? Just that.
And where are you?
We're in Florida. We're in Ocala, Florida. Do you know where that is?
No, I don't.
Well, do you know where Disney World is, for example?
Oh, yes, I do know.
Okay. So we're north of that, just a little bit north of that. So it gives you a little idea where we are.
I see.
Well, thank you.
Lovely place.
So can I ask you something? When you're writing about these important, life-changing, but also life-building stories, I'm guessing that a lot of people, women specifically in this case, will be reading these stories and be empowered by your stories.
That is my hope. It's my hope because, it's very difficult to overcome childhood sexual abuse and rape, both for men and women. There's no difference how difficult it is for both. And it usually does leave its lifelong mark. And just to overcome that, I think it's telling people you can overcome, you can have a life. Just go into it, just do your thing. And I think I was helped, spiritually a lot without having spiritual help and my faith. I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Really? So can I ask about forgiveness? Did you have to find it in yourself to forgive the people who offended you?
Yes, and it was very hard. I've usually been able to forgive everybody easily, but But the person, that abused me and basically shut off my life. I mean, as a young girl and teenager, that was very, very hard. But I think since I pray for that person now, the person has died. I think that is my forgiveness.
By praying for the person? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if that person is in hell, that's nothing you can do about that, right?
Maybe they could pour a little cold water now and then.
That's what there's a story in the Bible like that, isn't there? Where they just dip his finger in the cold water or something like that. Well, you are a delight to talk to so far. Thank you for being on the air. So you studied psychiatry, and I'm guessing the child psychiatry in your resume and all that are a direct result of your own.
Yes.
So this is what your life path, right?
Yes, I had an eclectic practice. I actually had an acupuncture couch in my psychiatry office, and if somebody needed it, I would do acupuncture. I would also do it when people in the community referred to me for physical problems. I was delighted by my practice because it didn't shut out all the medicine that I learned, early on, the anatomy and all those kinds of things. So I felt I did a really round practice, and this acupuncture also helped my psychiatry patients with anxiety and how they tolerated medication and all kinds of things. So I was very happy in my practice.
Really? Did you discover things about acupuncture that were not taught to you, as far as the relationship between acupuncture and psychiatric or psychological issues?
Yes. Yes. Well, that is taught in when you learn acupuncture. All the points have spiritual, emotional, and physical attributes. They address all three areas. And so I actually nobody had been doing that combination. I think that was a first, really. I didn't know anybody else who was doing that combination like I did, but I've always been one to do things in a different way. That's always been my style.
Wow. And I'm guessing other people will learn from that and consider using it. You just got to go to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yes, it was really helpful for addictions as well, It was very helpful for that. So, yes, I was able to really, I think, treat the whole person, even though in psychiatry you're only supposed to focus on, thoughts and feelings and so forth, and attitudes. But I think I focused on the entire person and what all was going on with them, everything combined.
And the whole person could also be extended to the family itself. The family could be considered the whole person. So when you are counseling a child, do you have to counsel the family members also as to how
Absolutely.
they can interact?
Yes, absolutely. The family is always half the work with child psychiatry because, of course, there are misunderstandings in the family. The child feels hurt, things they're not getting along. They feel like their contract with their parents has been broken, and very often they will act out in funny ways, acting out in school, and kind of to bring attention to the problem and to be asking for help. I mean, these kids are asking for help. So always the family is involved, and a very important part of the treatment process so that they can learn to understand what is the problem with the child, what is the child not understanding, and the communication between parent and child gets improved.
The book is called Spirit's Path. The author on the book is Lisi Mayer, and Lisi is who we're speaking to. That is her, I guess, her nickname and her maiden name. We also have her listed as Dr. Elizabeth Yoon. I wanted to tell you something about publisher or editor recommendations and how you kind of knocked it out of the park. They will always recommend that the very first thing a reader reads is going to impact them and keep them wanting to turn the pages. There is, I don't remember, a more impactful first chapter in a long time. The first chapter, first of all, it's very short, the very first chapter, and it just puts us right into a place. Now, I don't know that we had an advantage over other readers by knowing that this was you, or do we? Do we know that? I can't remember. But it doesn't matter. I mean, right away, the first chapter, I mean, we know that something has happened that we wanted to hold this little girl and give her a hug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought, really when I started writing it, I wrote it like from that child's viewpoint. The world of the child, what is happening inside the child's mind. We don't often get that. We're always assuming this is what the child is thinking, this is what the child has experienced. But I tried to start this book inside an 8-year-old little girl's mind. How she saw this experience that was happening to her. And I thought that was very important, both for people to read and to understand, and also to see inside a child's mind how that works. It's not an adult mind. It's child thinking of the child.
Oh, I'm sorry. And the parent has to learn how to communicate with the child, because the child will not talk. You have to have special ways to do that.
Very, very seldom, very seldom do you have a talkative child, one that comes and tells you everything that's on their mind, because they're usually so busy with everything that's impacting on them. You realize our entire life is just a learning situation. And of course, think of it, the child has more to learn than any of us will once we're grown up. But they have, they have to learn about society, how people respond to them, what they have to learn in school. Things are just exploding onto the child all the time, and it's hard for the child to keep up with it. So they're not very reflective. They don't have time for that reflection that we are taught later in life, actually, to exercise.
Yeah.
So it's very important to pick up, for a parent to pick up cues. If the child is not sleeping well, if the child is having problems in school is a major thing. You always check out, how is this child interacting when away from the parents, with peers, with teachers, authority figures. And that tells a lot. So you always need that piece of information. And then you need to just observe your child. Are they eating erratically? Are they, do they have an appetite? Are they playing with other kids? Do they want to see people, or are they shutting themselves off?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they being aggressive and hurtful to others? And, why is that? And you want to sit down with your child and you want to point out, hey, I've been seeing this, and what's going on with you? Tell me, how are you feeling? You really have to teach them to talk about feelings. It's not something we automatically. We're complex human beings. Yes.
So let me tell you something I'm wondering about here. I like what you're saying. I love what you're saying. I think I've witnessed what you're saying in working, working with kids in general, and in raising my own son. I remember when he was little, taking a camping trip, for example, would be the time when, things might come out that might not have come out in the normal day. You're sitting around for dinner, you're eating, your life is rushed. But when you took time out to go to a theme park and be just one-on-one, which I did a lot with my son.
I think that's a wonderful way to do it. You really have to take the kids away from the cell phones, and the TV and their computers.
Yeah.
Because again, those things are impacting on them. It's information and stuff is just being piled into their head, not all of it of use or good.
So here's me.
And so yes, you really yes.
So here's me trying to be an armchair psychologist. Okay. This is me. This is me trying to be.
Yes.
In talking to an adult, a trusting adult, a trustworthy adult, or whatever, there must be something therapeutic about that experience, and I guess we can all relate to that, because even as adults, sometimes talking things out, and women tell us guys to do this all the time, and we have to kind of be dragged to that point, but it really helps. But in your case, you have written about this, and I'm wondering if it wasn't some kind of a release for you to actually write and publish this story. And is it in a way like, a better late than never release of all those things?
Well, yes, as a psychiatrist, you don't talk about yourself. First of all, the time is always so limited. You really need all your attention for your patient in front of you, really. And I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to say, hey, I am wounded just like everybody else is. And I've been helping people all my life, but I am wounded myself, a wounded healer. And I wanted to tell that story because I'm retired now, so I can say it. I can take some time and explain. And it was very painful for me. I cried so much.
I bet you did.
Writing. Yes, I did, because it just brought it all up. And I feel like it's more at a distance now than it ever was. I had therapy, of course, as a psychiatrist. You have to have your own therapy. I'm sorry, I have to shut this off. But the point is that in writing the story, it was it had a different effect on me than talking to somebody about it. Because, first of all, there was no person interfering. You've heard of transference, where you are affected by the person sitting in front of you. Well, as a patient myself, of course, I was affected by the psychiatrist sitting in front of me to whom I was telling my story.
Oh, wow.
And it was different. That actually detracted some from it. But here I was just with myself, and I could let myself go. I could bawl, and then I could stop for the day, and continue the next day. It was kind of a luxury in a way. And I really did want people to know, I really did want them to know that I made it through. They can make it through very difficult circumstances, and faith helps. Without faith, I have to put that in there. Without faith, I wouldn't have made it. That's what brought me through all my darkest hours, and actually through my triumphs. Was that I had this faith, and I really felt that Christ was there. That Christ suffered, and I was suffering, and I identified with that, and that was a great help to me.
But you have written the book in novel form, and it's not all gloomy. You have you have some parts in there that people also can be relatable to on a lighter side. I mean, your character of Carla is wonderful, and her quest to have a career and also to get different babysitters for her youngest, because that baby was the one that just wanted her and nobody else, and that was a very, very nice read.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
What a great conversation we're having, but we need to take a little break, and we will be back. Dr. Elizabeth Yoon is going to stick with us through the break, and we'll continue talking about her book, Spirit's Path, a story of three women. We're trying to get to know Dr. Yoon, I think, a lot, and we are getting to know her through the interview and, of course, through the book, and as Robin pointed out, through the characters. We will take a little break and be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Clouds and sun this afternoon, couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 88 to 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 70 to 72. Tomorrow, times of sun and clouds, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm beginning in the late morning, high 85 to 90. And then tomorrow night, it'll be partly cloudy, low 68 to 73. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Steve Williams.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779. Come join New Male Medical, the experts in men's sexual health, and celebrate the opening of their newest location in the Villages this Friday from 11 to 1 at 8640 County Road 466. That's at the Santa Fe crossing on 466 going towards Rolling Acres. There will be free food and refreshments for all in attendance. Spend some time touring the facilities, and men get a free testosterone screening. For more information, call 404-4779. That's 404-4779.
Loco Graphics would like to invite you to their second location on 200 next to Sonny's Barbecue. They are officially open to help you out with all your sign, vehicle wraps, and printing needs. Visit them and mention this ad for free business cards. Need a logo? We've got you covered. From business cards all the way to menus and flyers. Now 2 locations to better serve you. On Merricamp, half a mile east from Forest High School, and on 200 by Sonny's Barbecue. Loco Graphics, impacting your customers. Like us on Facebook.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Locally owned and operated since 1957. We are The Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
All right, 28 minutes after 11 o'clock. I know we went to the break kind of late, so we have a very little bit of time left with our guest, and she's on the phone. If you're looking for the book, I want you to know that it's called Spirit's Path, A Story of Three Women. The writer is Lisi, Lisi Mayer, Mayer, and it is the pen name of our guest, Dr. Elizabeth Yoon. Doctor, you know, the one thing I think, if there's anything that the experience that happened to my sister that I would tell all women who've been sexually abused or raped, whether it was as a child, especially as a child, I think, but I don't think that matters, but you're the psychiatrist, is that I think it left her, and it seems to leave a lot of women with this feeling that they're worthless, that they don't have anything to live for, anything to contribute other than maybe sex, and it just is such a dehumanizing experience.
Yes, it is, and you know, I've been really trying to think what is it that it does, you know, because it does have such a profound effect, and I think first of all, it robs a person of control over their body. You know, that we like to have. We like to control what happens to our body. It leaves the person with a lot of shame because people always, you know, especially children or young people, tend to blame themselves first, you know, because that's kind of the egocentric thinking that young people have. You know, it's all about me, you know? And so they tend to have this feeling of shame, and that is pervasive. I think that lasts probably, I would say, a lifelong, and has to be cognitively, or, you know, you have to work with it, like with cognitive behavioral therapy, to stop yourself from thinking these thoughts that you are worthless, that you have, you know, that you're to blame to whatever happened to you. Yeah. I think that's the biggest work that somebody has to do who has this happen to them. Yeah. And, you know, the hard part is, you've noticed in the media everywhere how difficult it is for people to talk about those experiences. You know, they very often the parents will say, I had no idea. You know, I didn't know this was going on. My child never told me. And that's because it is so overpowering. The person feels such shame and guilt, you know, that they're afraid. They're afraid if they tell you what happened to them, that you will also blame them. You'll also say, well, that was your fault. What did you do that, you know, that made them do this to you? And this is kind of a lifelong, so it's so difficult to talk about it, which prevents you, the person, from actually dealing with the emotions, from dealing with, you know, what kind of repercussions this is having in their life, in other words, the consequences, and most importantly, the effect on their relationships. I think it is a big damper on relationships to have been abused either as a child or an adult. It doesn't matter. It seems, I think it's has the same effect. But it's a big damper on any relationships. And I have felt sorry for my two wonderful husbands that I did have, because I feel they didn't get to know the whole joyous me, because I still was constantly dealing with these feelings of shame and guilt and self-blame. Even though I was working on it, even though I'd had therapeutic help, it still is a process. So it does affect the close relationships, and that is a very important part of it that needs to be addressed.
Wonderfully said, Doctor.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but we're up against the clock. Thank you so much for being on the air. I went to your website. It's LisiMayer.authorsexpress.com, and Robin already has it on our website, so go to there and go to Amazon, I'm guessing, and all the other booksellers. Spirit's Path.
Exactly.
Thank you, Doctor. All right, we'll be right back.
Always have a choice.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Fidgeting can make it easier to lose weight. Many couples think that once they're married, all their issues with in-laws will disappear, but Steinort says a marriage magnifies these problems, so if you're having family clashes with potential in-laws, it's best to resolve those issues before you get married. Just like couples can take out a loan for a house or a new car, there's been a huge surge in loan companies catering to wannabe parents.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing service, we also offer fence row spraying. Now is the perfect time to get ahead on weed control for an overall aesthetic appearance. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene@yahoo.com. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440.
There's a car accident in this country every 5 seconds. That's why Allstate thinks it's time for an entirely different kind of car insurance, with features like accident forgiveness and a safe driving bonus. It's called Your Choice Auto, and it's only from Allstate. Are you in good hands?
You deserve better. Sign up for Your Choice Auto from Allstate. Call the McDonald Agency today at 622-2333.
Features are optional and subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Insurance, Northbrook, Illinois.
All right. Wow, it was loud. 25 minutes before 12 o'clock. I had my headset turned way up. I just figured out a way to give myself a raise.
Oh, okay.
If I buy things cheaper, then I'll have more money. That's kind of like having a raise.
Yeah.
So I'll go to Jerry's Pawn and Gun from now on.
Did you figure out that you were going to buy something,
right?
And then you find you didn't need it and didn't buy it, so that saved you money.
That happens too. Yes.
That's the way to.
That's Jerry.
The way to do that. Don't buy it. You don't spend your money.
Well,
I try to do that. I try to do that, but somehow it just slips out of my pocket. I have a pocket full at the end of the week, and then by the first of the week, and the end of the week, I don't have none left. That's the wait on the next one.
Jerry,
that's like a lot of people. But if you're looking for something and you can't find it, we have white metal detectors down here that you might be able to find it.
That's right.
And then you can go and bring it to me, and I'll buy it and pay you good money for it.
Oh, oh, wow, it's a win-win.
Yeah, that's a good story, wasn't it?
That is a very good story, yes.
Yeah, I got a big thing here where people found all kind of stuff.
Yeah?
Got old Army buttons that come off of the World War I.
Oh, wow.
Civil War, and they're worth a lot of money. Them old buttons that come off uniforms. They find them in the metal ones, and
how deep?
You never know. You never know about that. So, but we are the only white metal detectors here in Marion County that I know of. There may be some at the flea market or something, but stores that keep them in stock, all types of them. We have them here at Jerry's. We also have a full-time jeweler that comes in. He's sick today, so don't come running down today, but he's here 99 9/10 of the time, and he can do most anything. He can fix everything except a broken heart. He has a hard time welding that together.
Right.
You know, if you are really sincere, you can weld your own broken heart.
Oh man, that's very philosophical of you.
You can. So and a lot of things. If you got any of the old guns that you want to get rid of, old Mausers, I just bought one in and paid good money for it. Old Mauser, Luger, German pistols, and daggers, and anything like that. Old Winchester rifles, old Colt pistols. Gosh, I can just go on.
You got a lot of stuff over there.
On and on.
I have a question.
Jewelry, all kind of jewelry, Rolex watches. We take them. We take just about anything. If you have a bunch of guns and don't want to be aggravated with it, call us and we'll make an appointment with you and come out. And we don't like to give you appraisals on them and then go off, but we'll do that too.
All right.
But if you have a lot of good guns and you don't want to come down here, we'll come by and make you a price on them. If you like it, okay. And if not, we appreciate you calling us. If you have a lot of old guitars, you know, if you have something you've been keeping for years, I've been trying to get rid of some of mine, and I have a good place for them to go. Some of these antiques I've been keeping all this time, and I found a place. This man is in the ministry of rehabbing people who have bad problems.
Oh, really?
And I'm going to give it all to him and let him sell it. So if you have something like that you ready to get rid of, want to make some money out of it,
wow,
bring it by here and sell it to us, and we'll make good use out of it.
All right, excellent.
Gretsch guitars, Gretsch. Yeah, that's right.
Gretsch is a good one, yeah.
A guide. Gibsons, Fenders, the old ones, they do bring good money. So if you have something like that, I could just go on.
There you go.
But you don't have enough time.
You got a lot.
Ruben's not here today. I let him do it. He does pretty good.
He does real good. Yeah.
He don't have. He can always think of something to say too. I'm telling you.
Jerry, what is your phone number for the 3 or 4 people who don't know it?
We love Ruben. He's a good man.
Yeah.
Our phone number is 622-3780. Been that way for 48 years.
And tell people where you are.
I'm on Northwest 8th and Pine Street at the bottom of the overpass before you get to Highway 27.
All right, so go get one of those metal detectors and then find some gold in them Thar Hills and then bring it to Jerry.
That's right. That's the way it works. See? You can pay for it with one piece of gold. You can pay for the metal detector.
All right, Jerry, will you take
care? Have a good day.
Tell everyone
Bye-bye.
we said hi. All right, we'll be right.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Clouds and sun this afternoon, couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 88 to 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 70 to 72. Tomorrow, times of sun and clouds, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm beginning in the late morning, high 85 to 90. And then tomorrow night, it'll be partly cloudy, low 68 to 73.